Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan. We are just a month after the release of Volume 2 of Season 3 of The Witcher, and nobody's talking about it. Yes, that is partially because of the binge models and the issue with the binge model at Netflix, but also because nobody watched it and nobody cares. Even fan theories about how the recast from Henry Cavill to Liam Hemsworth will occur has near completely died out. No one cares about this franchise anymore, and Netflix themselves are the ones to have killed it. Between Tomek Baginski's just asinine comments and Lauren Hitch's just complete ineptitude, this franchise was doomed from its very inception at Netflix. Now we have the Nielsen data, which has finally come out for Volume 2, and it is just as bad as I predicted, because after those initial reports of the viewership numbers dropping 60% from episode 1 to episode 5 of Volume 1, we knew the viewership numbers for Volume 2 would be abysmal, and that is definitely the case that we have here for Volume 2. Just to set the stage a little bit, Volume 2 of The Witcher cannot even compare to Season 2. Both volumes of Season 3 cannot compare to Season 2. Season 2 received an astonishing 2.2 billion minutes watched in the first few days of its release. Just setting the stage there, that is where Season 2 was, perhaps the height of the franchise, because the first season was absolutely adored by people. I didn't necessarily love it. I could see why people liked it. It wasn't even close to the books in a lot of instances, but that one I can at least understand. So going into Season 2, there was a lot of excitement, and so there was an insane amount of viewership, but that season was generally disliked by a lot of people, even people who liked Season 1. And that dislike has translated over to dip in viewership in Season 3, and the abysmal quality of Season 3, far worse than Season 2, has led to a further decline. But 2.2 billion numbers is insanely impressive for Season 2. Let's look at what Volume 2 of Season 3 of The Witcher is looking like. We've got The Witcher in number 4. The Witcher is number 4. Perhaps one of the biggest flagship shows at Netflix, and Netflix always does good on the Nielsen's because of the binge model. That is one of the few benefits of the binge model, is they utterly destroy everything else on the Nielsen's, because that's a lot of viewership hours, a lot of viewership minutes. But even with Netflix topping out these charts, even with Netflix dropping an entire season, even with it being one of Netflix's biggest shows, it only got the number 4 slot, being beat out by Disney Plus, the show Bluey. I've never even heard of that, let alone Sweet Magnolias, which I have heard of, and Suits beating it out once again. Suits beat out The Witcher twice. Twice in its first month. The Witcher Season 3 can't even stand up to an old show that was recently added to Netflix, and the viewership figures for this season of The Witcher are 868 million views. It didn't even cross the billion minutes watched mark. Now, of course, there is a slight difference when comparing the viewership of Volume 1 to Volume 2 per se. We're going to check out Volume 1's here in just a moment here, but yes, there were 5 episodes in Volume 1 and 3 episodes in Volume 2. To counterbalance that argument of there being less watch time because there's less time to watch, is because this viewership figure includes the totality of Season 3 and the previous seasons as well. There are many people who said they were waiting to watch Volume 1 until Volume 2 was out because they wanted to have the full binge experience, which is well within their right. So this is all of Season 3 being added in to that 868 million mark for the people who waited till Volume 2's release to catch up on Volume 1. Now, that won't counterbalance it entirely, but it is, I think, an important aspect of this discussion to be thrown in there to counterbalance the whole there's only 3 episodes versus 5 episodes. The fact that a lot of people are watching Volume 1 for the first time as well should counterbalance at least a significant portion of that difference made up by the difference in runtime totals. But still, 868 million minutes watched is abysmally bad. There are single episodes of House of the Dragon that blew that out of the water. That is just another benefit of the weekly release model, in my opinion at least. But moving on to what we got for Volume 1. These are the Volume 1 numbers. Volume 1 also got beat out by Suits in its first few days of release. At least that one got up to 2nd place at the Nielsen's versus 4th place overall at the Nielsen's. And that Volume 1 got 1.3 billion minutes watched. That is a significant decrease. The Nielsen data is proving that The Witcher Season 3 is getting utterly rejected by fans and normies alike because no one wants to stick around with this franchise irregardless of Henry Cavill's departure. They've lost so much of their viewership just in Cavill's final season. And a lot of people said, we don't want Henry Cavill to leave, but we'll support his final season because we love him in the role, and then we're done. No, people are abandoning this franchise in season 3 versus volume 1 to volume 2 because of how horrific the quality is. This franchise is well and truly dead, and I don't know how much longer it can limp along through its planned spin-off of Sirens of the Deep and the planned spin-off of The Rats, as well as a potential seasons 4 and 5 of the main Witcher show. I hope it all gets canceled, but a lot of those are too far along to fully get canceled at this point, and the strikes, however they may affect all of those projects, that will yet to be seen. The last thing I want to show you guys before we end this video is the Rotten Tomato score. Now, when the initial Volume 1 came out, the Rotten Tomato score for the users was up over 30%. And then a month later, when the Nielsen data dropped for Volume 1, but before Volume 2 came out, it had dropped all the way to 24%. Now, a month after Volume 2's release, let's see how bad the user score for Netflix's Witcher Season 3 is. It is at 19%. 19% user score. I feel like that is far too high for what it deserves as well, but that is a significant drop from when Volume 1 initially dropped. That is significant. And the critic score has also dropped significantly from the high 80s to the high 70s. Now, the critics, of course, I don't trust them, and I never really trust them on this site to begin with. Of course, it's been certified fresh, not that that makes any sense whatsoever. This is just more evidence that the fans and the audience members are rejecting the Witcher franchise at Netflix, and I can't wait to see it all crash and burn in spectacular fashion and finally get canceled. This is beyond saving. The Witcher franchise cannot be saved at this point. Irregardless of Henry Cavill's departure, this show was always doomed to fail because of the people who were involved, because of Tomek Baginski and his asinine approach to this franchise, and Lauren Hissrich with their complete disregard for the source material, the genre, and the fans. It was always doomed to fail, and now people are finally starting to realize what I've been saying for so many years now. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Anon.
Hey, yo, are you feeling what I'm doing up in here? Oh, I know you are. Do you miss all the good, compelling stories that we used to get back in Hollywood that they ain't putting down no more? Oh, I know you missing it. So check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues, baby. Book 1, Down in Flames. Book 2, Apocalypse Then. These are currently on sale. What are you waiting for? Get your hands on them. And we got Book 3, Kill the Dark, is coming down the pipeline. Just wait for all the good stuff that's dropping. You ain't gonna be disappointed, fam.